Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to teach you guys how to replace one of your heater core connector lines on this 03 Chevy Silverado 2500. Alright, let's jump into this. So on these older Chevys, they have a really common problem with the heater core connection right at the firewall breaking off to your heater core lines. The plastic that they use, it's like a white plastic, and over time it just gets really frail and brittle. And my son was driving a truck the other day and the heater core line popped right off, steam came out everywhere. He was panicking, but it is nothing that anybody is doing wrong. They are just get brittle and they break. So I called him up, told him, said, don't worry about it, we'll get it fixed right away. So I'll show you guys what we were looking at. If you see that white little stub sticking out right there, and then our heater core line sticking up, it had burst off there and it had just broke the fitting. So we went down to O'Reilly and got ourselves a new one. They keep these in stock because they are something that does just break and go bad. It was like 13 bucks, nothing big. The most expensive thing is you got to get yourself some more coolant. When you put more coolant in this, make sure you're using Dexcool for the GM stuff. That is one reason that a lot of the things break. People will end up putting like green antifreeze in it and things like that. And there's a reason they use Dexcool in this type of stuff. The green antifreeze can actually make the plastic parts more brittle, you know, your reservoir tank, especially anything that's a white plastic. It can make it much more brittle. So the part that we got for this one, the part number is 800-409. And that is all you're going to need to replace that. And then you need some sort of fuel line slash line disconnectors. So I bought these from O'Reilly as well for about 13 bucks. You just slip that right over the line and it'll allow this little clip in here to release itself and pull right off. So let's go ahead and get that old broken piece off first and we'll get this new one installed. All right, so you're just going to take one of these tools here. I've already got mine inside there. I'll show you how they work. So what you do is you just take this and slip it over your line. It's got a little cut in it. You know, slip it up over your line and then you're going to push it inside that fitting. This little area right here is going to go inside that fitting. It's going to release the fangs or whatever you want to call them. And that's going to be able to pull the old fitting off of there. So it's pretty simple how they work. Sometimes you just got to give them a little love. Work them off. That's probably been on there for a long time. So I've got mine pushed on inside there. Just kind of work her back and forth. And just like that. I'll show you here. So these are the little tangs inside there. This guy just pushes right inside there, like that. Get it all the way pushed, and that'll separate all those little tangs in there to open up and go around the pipe. So now that we've got that off, we're gonna get the other broken piece out of the hose here. So we just gotta get our clamp moved down. What I like to do with these broken pieces here is you can kind of just smush them up and get them out of there. Nothing too serious. May need a screwdriver or a knife, something like that, to get it out of there. Look how nasty and old and brittle that thing was. Gross. Get your line nice and cleaned out. And putting the new one on is literally as simple as pushing it on that post there, putting your new hose on, putting your clamp on, and then you are fixed and ready to go. She's on there. Clamp is back on. Now all we gotta do is put coolant in it, start it up, let it heat up, burp all the coolant and all the air bubbles out of there, and he'll be able to start driving this bad boy again. Next, we're gonna fill this bad boy up. I know many people probably know this, but if you don't, we wanna let everybody know you're not any dumber than anybody else if you don't know where to fill it up at. Everybody's gotta start and learn somewhere. So this reservoir right here is where we're gonna fill everything up on our LS's and stuff like that. If this isn't there, there's always a spot under the radiator there too. It's not on these trucks, but if you don't have a reservoir, you'll fill it up in the radiator. And like I said, make sure you're using the right coolant for the job. Don't be putting the green stuff in here that is not for Chevys. Chevys take a Dexcool, and it'll say right on the bottle for GM or Chevy. So just make sure you're doing it right. You don't want to put the wrong stuff in there and cause more problems. And so we're going to go ahead and get this all the way filled up, and we'll start the truck. We'll turn the heater on so that way it can cycle through the heater core line there. So what that line does going into the firewall there is that is the coolant coming out of the engine that goes inside the cab to your heater core, so you have heat in the winter. If those ever get clogged, or you don't have enough coolant in there, you won't have coolant going there. Sometimes that's why your heater doesn't work inside the truck, is sometimes you just won't have enough coolant in the system. Another buddy of mine actually just ran into that the other day. He was gonna do a bunch of work to the truck, and he couldn't figure out why he wasn't getting no heat inside the cab, but the truck wasn't overheating either. And so I kind of brought it to his attention. Sometimes it's just low on coolant. So he went down to O'Reilly's, grabbed himself some more coolant, took about a full gallon. Everything is great now. So that is another quick little fix too. If your heat ain't working, kind of just in the middle of not enough and whatnot, and you can go ahead and tap this thing all the way off, because once you start it up, the engine's going to drink some, and it'll lower itself back down as it starts to drink some, because we need to get some through the coolant system. So it'll overflow here, that is totally fine. But after it starts drinking it, you don't want to fill it all the way to the top. Just fill it to the full line after the truck started and it starts drinking its coolant. Now that we are all filled up, he's going to go ahead and fire this bad boy up. Like I said, now what you're going to do is you're going to turn your heater all the way up high and turn your fan all the way high. And what that's going to do is it's going to open up all the actuators inside the truck, or inside the blend doors and stuff, to let the coolant come in and start heating up the inside. That'll drink some of that coolant up. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let this thing get up to full operating temperature, make sure it doesn't overheat or we have any air bubbles inside it. So as of now, she is nice and cool. We'll let her go all the way up. Should be roughly idling at full operating temperature in between 200 and 220 on Fahrenheit. So if it gets anything over 220, you've got either an air bubble in there or another issue as well. So just keep an eye on it as you're getting her up to temp. All right, it's already been running for only about a minute now, and you can see that it's already drank all the coolant inside the reservoir. There's nothing left in there. So we'll go ahead and just keep tapping that off until we got our desired height. All right, guys, that is it. She is burped, she is blowing out hot heat, everything is ready to go. So the last thing you want to do is you want to go drive it around for a little bit and then bring it back home after you get her all the way up to temperature, all those good things. Let her cool all the way back down, and then check your coolant again. After that, you should be solid to go. Usually it's always going to be full and fine, but if you ever go back to check your coolant, make sure you cool it down first. Don't open up that cap while it's hot. You're going to burn yourself. We don't want to see nobody get burned or anything like that. So bring it back home. You can pop the hood, check it, make sure it's still full. Let her cool down, do the same exact thing. Other than that, you're going to be good to go. So I hope this video has helped anybody maybe save a little bit of money, self-diagnose, things like that. If we've helped you in any sort of way, please hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps our little channel out. And we'll see you guys in the next one.